with a knife that he then stabbed the kid in the chest. Then what did he say documented on the court document, on the police report, is that he said, touch me and see what happens. So therefore, he knows he has this object in his bag. He said, touch me and see what happens. He removes the object, stabs the kid in the chest with enough force and enough depth that it killed him almost instantly. He didn't die at the hospital, y'all. He died in his brother's arms at the track meet. Now they may have pronounced him at another time. He was dead at the track meet. His brother saw him go dead.
Brothers, sisters, and everyone watching, let me start by saying this: I'm not trying to sound overly dramatic right now, but what I just learned left me completely stunned. And trust me, in this day and age, there isn't much that shocks me anymore. We've all seen so much chaos unfold online and in real life that you almost become numb to it. But this situation right here? This one stopped me in my tracks. Even though I know it's real, my mind still doesn't want to accept it. I kept asking myself if I should even make this video, because honestly, the whole thing feels too bizarre to be true. But after sitting with it, I realized people need to hear what's happening. In an unexpected twist, Charleston White has now officially brought on Carmelo Anthony's father as his personal assistant and publicist. Let that sink in. Charleston White, who is known for running his mouth in the wildest ways possible, has chosen Carmelo's dad to be his right-hand man.
So, to make these claims is foolish. To say that the girl Sarah Fields, which shout out to Sarah Fields, I looked at her social media and she's all over this story, promoting facts and pointing out how, Charleston White is a complete nut. But you can't say that, oh, this person is revealing their address and they doing this and that. You have no evidence of that. And I hope that somebody sue you if you're out here lying about somebody and don't have no evidence. Let me just say this. It's very difficult in the state of Texas to indict a minor and try him as an adult unless you have unequivocal evidence that's pretty strong that will get you an indictment. And let me explain real quick. There has to be a substantial amount of information for them to present this to a grand jury dealing with a kid that was 17. They didn't just charge him with murder. They didn't charge him with manslaughter. They charged him with first-degree murder. That means that you have to show an element of premeditated murder. And from all accounts that we see, even the video that reporters are talking about, that people can go and watch, at least the people in the media can go and watch, there's no indication that there was an altercation before the stabbing occurred.
Now here's why this is so shocking to me. When I first heard it, my mind immediately went somewhere else. I assumed Carmelo's father might have dipped into some of that GoFundMe money that was raised for Charleston White. Why? Because I figured maybe he wanted to use Charleston as his personal attack dog, someone who could say out loud all the nasty, hateful, ugly things he really wanted to say himself, but couldn't without ruining his own name. That's what I thought was happening. I believed Carmelo's father had basically hired Charleston White to be the one to carry out the dirty work, throwing insults, stirring up fights, and pushing out the kind of rhetoric that would get anybody else canceled. And honestly, a part of me still thinks that's true. But now it looks like Charleston isn't just speaking for him from the sidelines. No, Charleston White has officially joined forces with Carmelo's dad. They're working together.
It's not like he was getting jumped. You being in a place that you're not supposed to be in and people telling you to leave the place don't give you the right to claim that you're afraid enough to stab somebody in the heart who did not use any serious force against you that would make you believe that you could experience serious bodily injury or death. These Austin Metcalf kids, that kid wasn't that big. I've seen pictures of these kids, they ain't that big. Come on, bro. It ain't like they 6'6", 6'8", 6'5", 300 pounds. I think Austin Metcalf was like a linebacker. He was in an athletic position. He's not a lineman. And even if he was, you have to show that you have a fear of serious bodily injury or death in order for you to use deadly force against somebody. And it also has to be within self-defense. You cannot provoke a situation and then claim self-defense. So Charleston is completely nutty on this. And I forgot to say this. This is what I wanted to say at the very beginning. Let me tell you why Charleston went the way he went. And as a black man, I understand how black men end up like this. What happens is, as a black man, you grow up in a society where you begin to...
And that makes this whole situation feel even stranger than before. And let me tell you, things are getting darker and weirder by the day. Pregnant women are being swatted, yes, swatted by Carmelo Anthony's supporters. You heard that right. Entire families are being harassed, stalked, and attacked online just because they don't stand with Carmelo. I've talked before, especially on TikTok, about how these supporters run these little mock trials online. And at first, maybe some people thought it was just talk. But lately, Carmelo's die-hard fans, the ones who have stuck around long after the case quieted down, have been acting completely unhinged. When the court updates stopped coming and things started to calm down, instead of moving on with their lives, these people went even further off the deep end. And now, instead of focusing on facts, they're latching onto anything and everything, spreading lies, spreading hate, and going after people in real life.
Carmelo Anthony just got indicted for stabbing Austin Metcalf, and this is the first tweet that I see. They're trying to make an example of Carmelo Anthony to serve as a reminder to all of Black America. And you know what? I agree. The reminder is that if you stab somebody in the heart because they told you to move, you're going to prison for life.
The obsession has gotten dangerous. And right in the middle of all that chaos, Charleston White steps out with this announcement on Instagram. Nobody saw it coming. Out of the blue, he posts that he has hired Carmelo's father. In his words, Carmelo's dad had to resign from his job as a top-tier car salesman because, according to Charleston, racist white people were calling up his workplace, threatening him, harassing him, intimidating him, and even showing up. And because of that, Charleston says he decided to hire him as his own personal assistant and publicist. Now, let me stop right there. Personally, I don't believe that story. I don't buy that Carmelo's dad was being run out of his job by harassment. That doesn't add up for me. But whether that part is true or not, here's what I do know: this situation follows the exact same pattern we've been watching play out from the beginning. Let's be real. A certain part of the Black community has rallied behind Carmelo Anthony from day one. And this wasn't just about saying, "Oh, I think it was self-defense." No, it went way beyond that. People were cheering for him, celebrating him, acting like the death of a young white child was something to clap for. And if you think I'm exaggerating, just look at the way they've been talking online. For these people, it was never really about the case itself. It was about race. Always about race. They can deny it all they want, but that's the truth. Every time they open their mouths, it's either we're the victims of racism or you're racist for disagreeing with us. There's no in between. And now Charleston White, who has built his whole brand around being loud, messy, and controversial, is doubling down on that narrative by joining hands with Carmelo's father. Meanwhile, let's not forget what this family has been doing. They celebrated when Carmelo killed that boy. They attacked Austin Metcalf's family over and over again. They spread lies. They raised huge amounts of money while laughing at the pain of others. And then they turned around and played the victim, as if they were the ones under attack. And the school system? They bent over backward to protect Carmelo. Instead of expelling him for taking a life, they handed him a certificate and let him graduate. Why? Because they were terrified of being called racist. Terrified of protests and riots. Terrified of the backlash. So here we are, watching Carmelo's father fail upward. After everything, after his son killed a child, instead of facing consequences, he lands a new job where he's probably making more money than ever. And the reason is simple: because of what his son did. Now, before I go deeper, let me ask you all something. If the roles had been reversed, if a white kid had stabbed a black kid at a school track meet, do you think anyone would be raising money? Do you think someone like Charleston White would be offering the father of that killer a job? Of course not. The whole country would be demanding justice. The outrage would be non-stop. And that's why this feels so wrong. But let's circle back to Carmelo's father's response. When Charleston White gave him this job, he came out publicly and said, "Thank you for this opportunity. You don't know what we're going through. All I want is to provide for my family and be a father. Even when things seem dark, there's always light. God is good." Now, I don't know about you, but to me, that sounded like he was pulling the same victim card again. You don't know what we're going through. Really? What about what Austin's family is going through? What about the father who lost his son? What about the mother who will never see her child again? Austin's dad is being swatted constantly. His family is under non-stop attack. And yet, we're supposed to feel sorry for Carmelo's dad because his son is the killer? I don't think so. That sympathy act doesn't sit right with me. And let's not forget about Sarah Fields, who's been reporting on this case. She's been harassed, too. She's been stalked. Even pregnant women connected to the case have been targeted, with CPS showing up at their homes after false reports. These are the people really suffering, not Carmelo's family. So when Carmelo's dad stands up and says, "You don't understand what we're going through," I call that what it is: manipulation. Playing the victim while ignoring the real victims. Now here's my final thought on Charleston White hiring him. Honestly, I'm not even angry about it. Because let's be real, who in their right mind would want to work for Charleston White anyway? What kind of job is that? Following him around, cleaning up his mess, defending his online rants, helping him pick fights with strangers on the internet? That doesn't sound like success to me. That sounds depressing. It's strange. It's messy. And I don't even think it will last long. Eventually, this whole thing is going to backfire. Because at the end of the day, you can't keep playing the victim forever. People get tired of it. The internet may feed off drama, but the truth always comes out. And let me add this, Charleston White turned off comments on that Instagram post. He didn't want anybody to clap back. But if you can dish it out, you should be able to take it, too. Shutting down comments is weak. So that's where we are now. The latest twist in this already disturbing story. Carmelo Anthony's father is now officially Charleston White's assistant and publicist. And honestly, all it does is shine a bigger light on just how toxic and manipulative this family has been from the beginning. I'll be keeping my eye on this because I believe lawsuits are coming. Sarah Fields already has her case. And Austin's family? They deserve their day in court too. But until then, I want to hear what you think. Do you see this as another attempt to play the victim? Do you think this partnership between Charleston White and Carmelo's father will last? Or do you think it's just another stunt that's going to burn out as fast as it started? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button, share this video so more people see the truth, and if you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss the updates. Because trust me, this story is far from over. And as we come to the end of this video, I want to slow down and really leave you with something deeper to think about. Because this whole situation, as wild and strange as it looks on the surface, says something much bigger about the way our world works right now. Charleston White hiring Carmelo Anthony's father isn't just a random headline or some small stunt for social media attention. It's another example of how pain, loss, and tragedy get twisted into opportunities for the very people who should be facing accountability. Think about it. A young boy lost his life. An entire family is grieving. A community is divided. And instead of focusing on healing or justice, the story keeps spinning into new drama, new money grabs, and new roles for people who never should have been rewarded in the first place. Carmelo's father, instead of standing quietly and reflecting on how his son's actions changed another family forever, is now being pushed into the spotlight again. He's not standing there as a man who raised a son that took a life, he's standing there as a victim who wants sympathy, opportunities, and now even a paycheck. That's the picture they're trying to paint. And Charleston White, being who he is, saw the chance to feed into that narrative and use it for his own brand. But let me ask you this, where does that leave Austin Metcalf's family? Where does that leave his father, who has to wake up every single day with a hole in his heart? Where does that leave his mother, who will never get to see her child grow up, graduate, or start a family of his own? Their pain has been pushed to the background, while Carmelo's family takes center stage and collects sympathy like it's some sort of currency. That's why I can't just shrug this off as weird or strange. It's deeper than that. It shows how broken our sense of justice has become. Instead of protecting the memory of the victim, people are protecting the image of the killer's family. Instead of lifting up the truth, people are raising money on lies. And instead of moving toward healing, the internet has turned this into a circus. Now, maybe you think this partnership between Charleston White and Carmelo's father won't last long. And honestly, I don't think it will either. At some point, the drama will eat itself alive, because that's what always happens. Lies don't last forever. Attention fades. But the scars left behind? They don't fade. Austin's family will still carry that grief. And the people who cheered for Carmelo will have to answer, one way or another, for celebrating a tragedy. So here's what I'll leave you with: don't get so caught up in the noise that you forget the truth. Don't let the loudest voices drown out the real pain of the people who lost the most. And don't ever mistake playing the victim for being the victim. Because there's a difference, and it matters. If you've stayed with me this long, I truly thank you. Please hit the like button if you found value in this video, share it so others can see through the spin, and drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know how you see this situation. And if you're not subscribed yet, now's the time, because I'll keep digging into this story, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. At the end of the day, all we can do is keep shining a light on the truth. And the truth is simple: no amount of jobs, titles, or public statements can change what really happened. A child is gone. A family is shattered. And no matter how many people try to flip the script, justice should never be forgotten.